Generally, Ghanaians are not good people. Let's accept it.
Generally.
When people are that bad, God will not bail them out. So God will not, the only way for God to punish them is to give them a bad leader who will make sure that things don't happen for them.
Interesting philosophy about life and the purpose of life. And you ended with saying when you have a high position and you're not able to use it to fulfill your purpose. You described it as quite unfortunate.
Not just unfortunate, it's a waste of God's time. Because I don't know, but you see, there's an aspect too that I try to entertain. Generally, Ghanaians are not good people. Let's accept it.
Generally.
Yeah. Sometimes we are evil, we hate people for no reason, we're jealous about people, we're not honest when we are dealing with people in business, wherever. We like corruption, we've been corrupted, and we get into all sorts of things. When people are that bad, God will not bail them out. So God will not, the only way for God to punish them is to give them a bad leader who will make sure that things don't happen for them. That's another philosophy that I have. Because you see, the Israelites were in bondage for about 435 years, I hear, if you read the Bible. So God looked at them, so-called God's chosen people, 435 years, he just turned his head somewhere and said, you guys learn some lessons before he bailed them out and took them to the promised land. That is the Bible. But I believe when the people are not doing what is right and what is not pleasing to their Creator, the Creator will not just dote on them. He needs them to learn bitter lessons. And the way to let them learn bitter lessons is to give them a leader who will make sure things are bitter for them.
But don't you think it is a result of cause and effect? Because you have a pool of people to choose from a leader.
Yeah.
And if generally you are really bad people, then you are going to choose the worst of the bad person to lead you. And as a result of that, you'll be heading in the wrong direction and then you crash. And then when you crash, you'll be like, now you'll be forced to think because you'd have to survive, you have to do different.
I agree with you, but let's go back a bit.
Okay.
How come democracy is foisted on us? It's actually forced on us.
Yeah.
Democracy of one man, one vote will not bail us out.
Okay.
Because we are impoverished, we're mostly illiterate, and therefore we don't even have time to discuss or the ability to discuss issues as to what we need.
Everybody just surviving.
Exactly, and then people sell their future for 20 CDs or T-shirt or TV or something. Your whole future, you sell it. Now the buyer is going to incur a lot of cost. And when he gets the position, he must recover his money and interest and profit. So the problem is, how come we adopted a system which is not giving us the right leader? Because this democracy, one man, one vote, can never give you the leader who can do what is right. Because even if he has a good mind, he comes into power, the political party behind him would demand certain things because they owe, and they need to build a war chest for the next election. And you, the leader, can't say that you throw away your party's wishes. You can't. So we are in deep trouble. Now, the leader who can change things shouldn't have all those baggages as in political party and the machinery and how much it costs and the rigging and things. He can come and say that, listen, I've come for this country, but with that message, Ghanaians will not vote for you.
That's a catch-22 situation.
So we are in deep trouble. We are in deep trouble. Now,
interesting.
To carry on from there, I think, again, it's theoretical. I think we need to tweak our democracy. I don't believe in coups. No, we've had too many coups. They never give us a solution. We must shape our own democracy. And it's basically that not everyone should vote. We should vote a section of the people who should then vote to elect a president.
We should vote for some wise guys.
Because that's democracy.
Okay.
That's democracy.
It's still the same thing, basically.
It's democracy, but we're saying that we don't want to go and queue from morning to evening. We don't want all this rigging because we don't know some ballot boxes are lost in the bush and all those things. So we are voting for this section of people to vote to choose a president for us. You know what that does? That will do. The cost of campaigning will be cut down seriously. Any well-meaning person can have the money to campaign because you are campaigning to this select group, right? Voting will be very easy. On that day, this select group will come, blast our square. Within 3 hours or even the whole day, they finish voting, we count there, we finished. And that elite group should be a group that understands issues and love people, and they've been trained. I have a group in mind, but it's all theoretical. I would say only medical doctors should vote. Because their training is the longest, is about the betterment of welfare and health of people, which covers everything we're talking about.
But there's also this theory that they are being controlled by the big pharmaceutical companies.
Well, that's the difference. We're talking about getting a leader for Ghana.
Yeah, but if the leaders are, the people who are electing the leaders are being controlled by an industry.
I don't think they are being controlled.
They are
I mean,
to...
it's not on a block as saying all of you come and let me control you. I mean, they lobby among the doctors.
Lobbying,
they lobby among the doctors. But I'm saying that group is an identifiable group. If you're not a medical doctor, you're not a medical doctor.
Okay.
You can't say engineers and all those things. You can't really cut a clean line.
But medical doctors is clean.
Yeah.
And lawyers.
Yes. No, don't bring lawyers in. You know, but maybe the caveat is that medical doctors cannot be president. So you take them out. But we give them a response. Because you see, to come into this world, you need a medical doctor. To stay healthy and live your life, you need a medical doctor. To even die, you need a medical doctor. To know the cause of death, you need a medical doctor. So give them the vote. One small, funny vote. Give it to them. Let them decide. Because they know what the human being needs to be healthy and to live a good life. By theoretical. I mean, who is going to start a referendum for us to think about it? And you see, the thing about even changing the constitution that people are talking about, I don't think it's the constitution that is the problem. It's the kind of leaders that we're able to elect or into position. Because if a leader comes and he has all the power, he struggles to be the leader, then you say he should reduce his powers. It's a bit funny.
Yeah.
Unless you get someone who's really level-headed and loves the people and say, listen, this constitution is wrong, therefore I'm initiating something. Otherwise, people just gravitate towards them and sing their praises and say, no, you are the best person, you are the best person. They know what they will do because of what they will get out of the system. And therefore, we are stuck in this situation.
Well, so earlier, you had an interesting philosophy on life, how to live life, with purposeful life.
Yeah.
How did you come by that philosophy?
I'm 72.
Yeah.
So I've lived through life and I've reflected on a lot of things, my own actions and actions of other people. The fact that we exist means that we've been created. Because I believe anything that exists has been created. Now, the second step, if you are created, then it means there's a creator who created you. Now, why would any creator create something? A creator will create something because he feels that there's a gap, and this
creation is
needed to make my creation better.
But can't you create for pleasure? You know, you've been created just to entertain.
You see, interesting enough, even if a child is sitting at the beach and makes some kind of this oven phone with his foot and sand, and you destroy that sand, you don't create because maybe if you I think something that is created and I can't appreciate is what they call this artwork, which is what?
Well, like paintings or sculptures.
They have it's not virtual. It's you just abstract painting.
Okay.
If you go and stand there and say you don't appreciate it, they say you're a bushman. But really, a lot of people. So maybe with that, you can say they did it for nothing. But even that has got a price. Yeah. But to our point, all I'm saying is that a creator will only create something because he envisions that he will need this for a purpose. So then I come to human beings again. We are all here because we've been created, and therefore there's a purpose for all of us. And we're all different, and we're all put in different locations. So God is expecting you to do something. Of course, it's not communicated to you as in go and this, I have these children, and it's not communicated to you. And you come with nothing. So, by the way, you also go with nothing. But to be able to make this world a better place, as in trying to find your purpose, you must acquire worldly things, right?
Mm-hmm. In order to be able
because
to
if you don't have anything worldly means, you can't cause a change.
Right.
So the worldly things, first thing that comes to my mind is education. You need to know about the world in which you are and specialize in certain things. You need to stay healthy. Because if you are not healthy and you are weak, you can't cause much change. You need to love, because love raises, people and gives them good feeling, and it gives you good feeling too. You need to have family, because first for family is your direct legacy you're going to leave, because they are your kids. You raise them exactly and keep on going. You need to have worldly things, money, properties if you can get them, companies, buildings, name it. These are all worldly things, are things of the world, which you leave behind. But the more you acquire them, two things happen. One, you can make more impact if you have these worldly things. Two, you tend to also attract acknowledgement and power, right? Now, the first obvious use is to actually use it to impact the world, as you were sent to do, you were created to do. But a lot of people go on a tangent. They enjoy the power and the acknowledgement and the respect and the hula baloo about them. Therefore, they want to acquire more and more and more and forget to use it to impact the world. So typically, you find somebody who goes to somebody's house and he has about 10 Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis packed.
Because of the fans.
Because people say that he is rich, but he's lost cause.
Right.
Because he should have used those worldly things to impact the world, not just to pack them and do things like that. And some people have planes about 10. So you ask yourself, they're certainly causing an impact, but not as much as they could have done with all those monies. So I find that people when you say somebody is successful, my definition is somebody who has used whatever they've acquired, maybe little, maybe more, and how they use it to impact the world is what will let me say this guy is a successful guy, because he knows why he's here and he's done his bit. I can look at people who have a lot of money or whatever you have, and I'll look at them and say they are not successful people. That's my definition. Because they have
how do you define it?
It's simple. Those who use whatever means they are able to acquire to make the right impact on the world, on people, are successful people. Those who have a lot and they don't do much are not successful people. They've wasted their resources. Probably it will be there for their kids or some other people to use.
That's an interesting way to look at success. So how long have you had this philosophy of life?
It evolves. I'm someone who reflects a lot. So I have all sort of philosophies in my head. Some I can't even talk about. And a lot of times, people miss it. They miss the point. I am, not to brag, I have a different mindset. I see things as they are. And the frills and things don't confuse me. When I was in secondary school, Form 4 in Adesado College, I wasn't the best math student, but I took part in the National Maths Quiz, lower division for Form 4, Form 3, and I won the national maths quiz. I'm saying that for you to know that it wasn't Pythagoras theorem and all those. It was a quiz with a lot of information to throw you off.
Okay.
And I just sat down like this. I answered 7 questions, tried to, I said the rest I don't know. And that's what won me the national maths quiz. And that gave me the confidence that whatever I see, there's really something to it.
So to put it in urban terms.
And most people don't even see it.
So to put it in urban terms, you're able to see through the bullshit.
Yes. I see it most of the time. I may not enforce it, I may not even talk about it, but I keep watching it and I see it happen. One thing that people don't get right, which I don't understand, is it's about time.
Time.
People say, oh, time is money. Especially for Africans, we don't even value time. I don't even know why we don't value time.
You know why?
Yes.
Why?
It's quite long, but let me try and abridge it. The last few generations ahead of us, Africans have lived in an environment of abundance, right? So we live in the best part of the world, around the equator, where it's always green. That's where the black man comes from. And food, even you are from Achim. We used to eat free. We're not even growing food. You go to the forest.
Everything is there.
Everything is there.
I got the land and then cassava, everything was on it already.
Yeah. And if you want to grow, it's easy. You don't need fertilizer, you don't need anything. And food, you go to somebody's house, you just eat. Because nobody is talking about food or scarcity of food. And not only that, even no environmental hardships. Temperature is virtually the same throughout the whole year. Certainly no snow.
No floods.
No floods, no fire, no tsunami, no hurricane, no tornadoes, nothing. Natural hazard. The West is when we have a rainstorm, and the rainstorm, you know how we solve it. You take banana leaf to cover your head. After the rain, you throw it away. Now, this is where we've lived.
Okay.
Where everything is in abundance. So virtually, and it's a result of abundance. When you have all those things, free food, no hardships, you don't have any challenges. So you fail to literally think. You don't have to. Not that you don't think, you don't have to think. And take the issue about time. If you have everything and you don't foresee any hardships ever, why do you rush?
Where's the rush? Relax.
So when was the last time you went home?
I would say like a month ago.
Okay, that is quite good. But typically you go home and, hey, Kofi Abba, Kofi this, Kofi that. Hey, hey, call this person, call that person. Maybe 1 hour, they haven't asked you why you're there. Then they come, they give you water. And pay. We went there to do this and went to the farm. We just came and we wanted some water to bath, and then you came. So I had a bro. And it's about an hour, 2 hours before they get to know why you're there. And when you've told them why you are there, the next thing is, oh, because why?
Yeah.
There's food for you. You can have your bath. You do whatever you like. There's no rush. Compare that with someone. You meet a friend in Europe or so with snow on the floor. You have your hands in your overall. You say hi and you are off. You're going to find some
you will be lucky if they respond.
Yeah. So that is one problem about the African, why we do not have respect for time and we do not develop. The news we're watching this morning
about the disaster,
about the hurricane or something in Florida. Why you've built and from nowhere, until recently you couldn't even predict that it was coming. And the hurricane comes and destroys all that you built. Next time you are building, you think about what kind of material to use and how to make sure that your properties can withstand the next hurricane. We didn't have anything like that. So we have a problem. The problem is that we are laid back and we built cultures and traditions around the abundance. So for example, you go to your village and you want to go to do something up a mountain or up a river. It's like, why go and look for trouble when life is cozy? So we don't even push ourselves to do anything. We just label it as some god or something like that, and we let it be. Because the white man actually sat in a boat, challenged these seas, and came to colonize us. We were not going to go anywhere. Because why venture when everything is clean for you? So what we're talking about is about saying why we are the way we are, and for example, we don't respect time. It's because we've lived in a state of abundance. The generation before us, that's what they went through. And therefore, they raised us in the same mode, same cultures. And for us to do things, we have to break those cultures, because now we don't have the free food and all those things. There's urbanization. Now there's even galamsey destroying the lands. So we have to think differently.
Yeah.
And to come home to what I'm about. That is why I'm devoting my time and the few resources that I have in forming the PK Amoabeng Leadership Foundation. Because if these things can change, it's only the leadership that can change it. And I'm not talking a group of people, one leader can cause the change. And if we don't have a leader with the right values and different cultures, but it's coming from this same old culture, we can't expect to see. Yeah. Because our mindset is gone. The African mindset is gone and it's getting worse. Why it's getting worse, I don't understand. But it's certainly gone.
What African mindset are you referring to?
Okay, let me give you a few examples.
Okay.
Our funerals.
Right.
So somebody is alive, let's say your mother or your father, and he dies. And because you have the money, you construct a road, build houses, do a huge funeral costing millions, and then the dead body, you build a house to put the dead body inside. Meanwhile, your village itself probably doesn't have enough water, doesn't have the right road, and you didn't use these resources to improve life for your people. Your mindset is gone, it's warped. You see what I'm talking about? Who would do that in the Western world? Spend all those monies on a dead body and build a house for the dead body because you have the means. That's what I said earlier, that those people are not successful people. They could have used the worldly thing they had to do things better for the world.
But they are people.
Certain things, let's say, I come from Ugrantumi. The road from Manfe to Kofi was bad for a long time. Then all of a sudden they said they were having MPP delegation or something like that. So the president was going to come to Kofi. So they patched the road and became more trouble. So Ghanaians who were traversing that road, and this happens everywhere in Ghana, are neglected for years. And when just one person, the president or his central, are coming on that road, then they see they need to fix the road. What kind of mindset is that?
I mean, the people are less important
than the one person that they have elected and they are paying for.
Who came to come and serve us.
Precisely. You want another example? Leadership is by example, right? People watch what you do. When we have presidents who are late for functions for about 3 hours with no apology, you know what that means? They don't respect the people, period. And they come and we say jubilate and things like that, and they don't apologize, and they waste our time, and your time is really your life. That's one thing most people don't know.
Yeah.
And they mess up our time, and therefore our life, and we still celebrate them.
Let me ask you this. Do you think time is money?
Let me also ask you this. It's generally accepted that time is money, right? The reverse must be true.
Money
if A equals B, B equals A.
Money equals time.
Right?
Okay.
So if we say time is money, then money is time. Now, I prefer the equation money is time more than time is money.
Why so?
Let's say I have some time to decide that I'm going to chill in my bed. I'm not going to go anywhere. Time is not that money. The time, I'm wasting it, right? So even though we say time is money, time can be translated into money, but not. You may not want to do that. But money is certainly time, because you use your time to create the money. And therefore, that is the value they're placing on the time you used. And it's potential time. Because let's say typically you fall sick and you're about to die. If you have money, you use that money to buy back your time.
Small time.
Yeah. So I go by the equation money is time more than time is money.
Okay.
But the two are interchangeable. But the thing about time is that your time is actually your life.
Yeah.
Because when they say this person is dead, all we are saying is that his time is finished.
Ended.
And in your whole life, you realize that you are negotiating your time, which is your life. So when you are a kid, you go to school. Maybe 20 years you're going to school. Why? Because you want quality time in future. So you are investing your time to get quality time. Even when you get married, you say, I want to share my time or whatever is left with this woman so that I can get quality time. Quality time in the form of respect by outsiders, you have family, and therefore you think you're doing better. So time is all that we have. That is why people must respect time. And I can't say it worse than that. If you don't respect somebody's time, you are saying that you don't respect their being. Because all they have is time. All we have.
I also think a lot of people don't respect their own time. Maybe
So
because they don't have
respect
a purpose.
They don't respect themselves. There are a lot of people who don't respect themselves. And now when it comes to people who don't respect themselves, I don't want to deal with them because they cannot respect you if they don't respect themselves.
They can't give what they don't have.
No, they don't have it. So it's not a difficult thing. It's a matter of just reflecting on things, reading a lot, having your own experiences. And at UT, when I was at UT, no meeting started late. No, you can ask any UT staff. No meeting started late. Even when I'm not there, I said I could be dead at some point in time. If I'm not there, somebody else must be the most senior person. And this is from the army. There's always someone in charge. No, you don't see army saying that nobody is here, we are waiting. No. All the time there's someone in charge.
But how are you able to get clarity to be able to come up with all these philosophies? Because you can see through things, right? So when it comes to business.
Yeah, when it comes to business, you know what happened was, because I was indisciplined, and if you read the UT story, volume 1, it comes clearly how I started and went into the army. I went to the army because I knew I was indisciplined. So I myself decided the army would straighten me up.
And that's discipline.
Yeah, and I went to the army and I came out of the army a very disciplined gentleman, young man.
When you're saying discipline, what do you mean?
Discipline starts with respect for time, respect for other people, caring for the welfare of people, and all this the army trains you. And especially time management and stuff like that. And you know the problem that we have is that most people don't respect other people. And that is why they're not good leaders. And the army is where they actually teach you about leadership that creates trust among you and your men. Because the trust is such that, you would take your men to battle and bring them back, I came out of the army quite a disciplined person, young man at the age of 23. At the age of 23, I was responsible for my platoon and also accountable to my company and the battalion. And it's very interesting that at the age of 23, I was managing the lives of my men, including their marriage life at the age of 23, when I couldn't even manage my own girlfriend issues, And I loved the army. I wasn't going to come out of the army at all. I knew I was going to spend the rest of my life in the army. I loved it to bits. But unfortunately, there was the rolling school one and second one, and the army changed completely. And I felt this is not the army that I loved. So then I stepped out without a plan B. And the only thing I could do those days, there were no jobs, there was hunger and things like that, was to be a partner to my next door neighbor who was doing business. So then I started being a businessman. Now, I was a businessman for about 15 years, doing all kinds of businesses, buy and sell, importation of goods like wines and hardware stuff. Then I was in oil business, I was in air conditioning business, I was in transport business, I was in contractual, all sort of. I did almost every type of business. But all along I was learning. I was learning about business in Ghana, and especially the mentality of the Ghanaian businessman. So when I had problems with raising monies and I decided to form my own company to help business people who needed monies, I had learned through their side. So I could understand them. So when somebody comes to sit in front of me and says he needs money, I knew what his mentality was because I'd been in their shoes before. And those are the things that I used to be able to grow the UT that people came to know. Because people think I was just a military man who had set up a company. No, I had been in business for 15 years, all kinds of businesses. So that is how come we were successful. And then again, you must know what you're giving the people.
The value.
Yeah, what your customers want, you must know. And what I realized was that even though the SME was the riskier sector of the market, as against, say, the corporates, they needed the money faster than the corporate because they don't plan, they don't budget, they don't do anything. They are hit with a business and they need the money today, otherwise they lose the business. So we had to find ways and means of lending at a very fast rate. If you remember, we had loan in 48 hours. Yeah. And that is what distinguished us and made us very prosperous and grew the business. Then, of course, we created other companies organically. That is UT Properties, UT Logistics, UT Private Securities. Then we went to Nigeria, UT South Africa, and all that. I think there was a bit of hubris too in it because we felt anything we could do it and be successful. So then we decided to acquire a bank, which became UT Bank, and then we merged UT Financial Service and UT Bank. Not because we wanted to become a bank basically, but that's how things turned out. And of course, the bank was okay, successful initially. We won the Bank of the Year, the first indigenous bank to win Bank of the Year. We did. So everything was rosy, which added to the hubris. And then all of a sudden we realized that we're having problems, all kinds of problems, which I'm writing a third book, which is called UT Bank, the whys and things like that, where I'm going to chronicle all the things that went, with all the factors that contributed to the bank having problems. And eventually the government taking the situation to withdraw the license. So, yes, you can do so much, reflecting on what you do, having empathy for your clients and respecting them and what they want, and be able to see exactly what they want. But interestingly enough, in this world, what people want is not plenty. There are only two things that every human being wants.
What are those?
Every human being innately, by our DNA, want to save time.
Want to save time?
Every human being. It's because we want to do so many things with the life that we have. You're not probably aware, but somebody goes to a lift. The lift is closing. He will still be hammering on the door close because he wants to
fast.
saving possibly 1 second. But they still do it. You see the way people drive, try speed. So naturally, people want to save time. The second thing people want, they want quality time.
Quality time.
Quality time. They want to be respected. They want to be healthy. They want to be acknowledged. They want to feel good. They enjoy themselves. So if you have a product or a service, ideally should give those two things, and you are done. So now everybody has a phone, right? Why?
Yeah.
The phone saves time, plenty.
Plenty.
And the phone gives them comfort. They can watch porno, they can watch news, they can watch anything they want, they can even lie in bed and be in touch with the whole world. That is why everybody wants a phone. So any service or product that you are thinking you're going to serve the people,
Save time.
think
And quality time.
should save time and provide quality time.
Mr. Amoabeng, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. It's been wonderful talking to
Yeah,
you.
Kofi, so we hope to catch up.
Yeah, I'd want to do a part 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully in your hometown.
No problem.
Yeah, I'll do that. And then all the best in your third book. We are looking forward to it.
Yeah, we hope to launch maybe in November.
In November?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope I get invited to the launch.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.